no question is ever silly unless it's really honest. So when you take the initiative, you also want to observe things and be curious, and that's where the questions come into play. This can synthesize new ideas and ways to contribute to the growth of not only yourself, but to others as well, um, from a workplace and also beyond. And that is my presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, David. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate you. If you have questions for Mr. Torres, please feel free to raise your hand. And I have a question. I'll just get us started, David. How do you take initiative when your motivation dips? So like, let's say you're working at a place and like you really want to, put your best foot forward. You really want to make a difference. You really want to put yourself out there, but your hard work is not really recognized. Your manager doesn't, give you feedback. You aren't getting promoted or not getting raises, right? And your motivation's beginning to wane. You're like, oh my gosh, why am I working so hard? So how do you handle those situations, David?
Well, first of all, I would just simply remember my why. Why am I working that place and what that goal I'm trying to achieve is and how I'm going to work towards it. Because you say your work isn't recognized, but it doesn't really have to be recognized for, let's say if you want to get that promotion. For me, I would just simply keep saying to work harder because some people may not recognize it, but some people may, but you just might not notice it. And that opportunity will soon arise when you least expect it.
Great. Any hands, any questions for David? I see lots of feedback in the comments section. How has taking initiative, David, benefited your life?
Taking initiative has definitely impacted my life in a very positive way because it's made me a lot more confident in my work. And it's made me do a lot more as far as, taking on leadership roles. And it's made me understand how this is going to be, very beneficial in any type of work environment. And it's also, I've realized it's also going to just give me a lot more credibility for whoever I work with. And, I can also share that same experience with others so they can also have that same mentality.
Excellent. Thanks so much, David. I see Ashley Ross's hand.
Yes, Ashley.
That was an awesome presentation, David. I really liked all of the vocab words. They were awesome. And my question is, as somebody who takes initiative, how do you motivate others to also take initiative?
I would motivate others just by telling them to be confident in their work. Because something is always better than not doing anything. And when you self-promote yourself out there, you're actually motivating others to speak up as well. So I believe leadership is contagious. When somebody puts their foot forward, it also makes other people want to speak up as well.
Awesome. Yeah, great answer. I love that. Thank you so much, David, for your presentation and this leadership moment. Before we jump into today's lesson, I wanted to just spend like 2 minutes discussing a topic that had come up in one of our meetings yesterday with staff, and that is that many of you are feeling anxious or uncertain or nervous about internship placements, where you're going to go, what kind of job you're going to have, like who's your boss going to be. Like it's it's a lot of unknowns you're going to experience here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And I remember what that was like. I remember when I was finishing up my education, I was 22 or 23 years old, and I know this might seem like a very long time ago, but this was in 2009, and this was a very bad time in the economy, just like it is right now. And I thought, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do with this degree that I just spent a lot of money on? And I remember applying for jobs literally all over the country. I was living with my parents in Pennsylvania. I was applying for jobs around there. I was applying for jobs all, in the South. I actually applied for a job in Hawaii that I was hoping I would get. Of course, I didn't. But all over the place I was applying, and I was just anxious all the time. I couldn't sleep and thought, my gosh, my life is falling apart because I don't know what my next step is. And I ended up getting a job in New Jersey, where I stayed for 4 years. I really enjoyed and really learned a lot. In that job, I was actually a youth minister at a church. I had a really great community there, faith community there that I was able to work with. And kind of a cool story is that I've actually did a virtual presentation there this past week, being able to keep, that relationship there almost 10 years later from when I first started. So it just goes to show, like, whatever path you go down in the next month, that you do have a purpose. You've worked hard. To use David's point, you've taken the initiative, you've done the work. And the thing that I find with change is you have a cycle, right? You have kind of that rocky water, like uncertain. Do you remember, like, when you first joined Year Up, everything was overwhelming? What is a deliverable? What do I have to be on camera? What Schoology? What all these classes? What does Cedar stand for? And then what happened? Like, after a while, like, you got really good at Year Up. You learned how to get your work done and to attend your classes and go to study groups. And you went past the rocky phase into the smooth sailing. All right. And you're going to do the same thing with your internship. You're going to have a rocky phase, right? It's going to be new. You have a new work environment. You're going to have a new manager. You're going to have new expectations on you. Instead of deliverables from myself and Vanessa and Kara and Kachun, you're going to have, deliverables from your team. But the thing of it is, like, you prepared the last 6 months for this moment. Okay. And obviously you look around this virtual room, and everybody that started with us is not with us now, unfortunately. And that's very sad. But you are, because you continue to persevere and push through. And that's not something you should take lightly. And my encouragement to you is just enjoy this exciting time. That you get to prepare for this opportunity to go to internship, wherever it is you end up. So I just want you to know that, if you need to talk, I'm here for you, and that your feelings are totally normal. I went through it in my career. All of your instructors went through it in their career. It's just part of the process. And believe it or not, a few months from now, you're going to get into a groove at your internship, and you're going to say, "Oh, this is pretty easy. I'm getting the swing of things." And it's gonna be time for your next step. But that's life, right? It's constant changes. It's constantly, new adventures. But to continuing to just enjoy and trust the process, I think is really important. So I just want to encourage you guys with that. Any questions or comments about that before going to the lesson? I needed this, Eric. Thank you so much. Yeah. There's a really good book I recommend. It's by Walter Isaacson. He's a biographer. It's called I think it's called Steve Jobs. It's about Steve Jobs' life. And one of Steve Jobs' favorite quotes was, "The journey is the reward." The journey is the reward. And it's like, what does that mean? And for many of us, we think the reward is the internship or the career or the paycheck or the house or the moving out of your parents. Like, that's the reward. No, the reward is the journey. The reward is, oh my gosh, I can't figure out this formula on Excel. Oh my gosh, Kachun's lab is killing me. Oh my gosh, so many vocab words for Vanessa or Kara. Like, those are the things that make you who you are, right? And then the benefits that come from that are great. But the real Kung Fu Panda, is that also in there, Rahul? The journey is a reward. Did they steal it from Steve Jobs?
Yeah, it's like similar to scroll at the end. Basically the whole time he has to get a scroll, chosen one, and when he opens the scroll, it's just a reflection of himself.
Yep.
It's just yeah.
Yeah, see, it just goes to show, right? We always look for the next thing to bring satisfaction, but the journey is what truly brings us satisfaction. All right, I'm done philosophizing. we can go ahead and jump into the Excel spreadsheet. Also, since we're just looking at the spreadsheet, if you want to go off camera, I'm going to go off camera because I don't feel so good. I don't think I look very good. I think I look kind of yellow, so maybe I got to drink some more water or something. So I'm going to go off camera myself, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. I love you guys. I want you just to know that what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, it's normal. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of anxiety right now. I totally get it. I lived it not that long ago. So I remember what it was like. I remember the challenges that this time in your life brings. So as you can see here, you have 4 people. Linda, Kevin, John, Sarah. All right, now I want you to imagine that you need to create a pie chart because you want to get an idea of how much revenue, percentage rather, of income revenue did each person on your team earn. All right, and one of the things I love about the chart feature within Excel is that there's just times where it's easier to look at a chart or a visualization to understand and grasp data. It's just as opposed to just looking at the numbers, because you look at this and you see a few things, right? You see obviously Linda had the most sales. Kevin was very little bit behind her. John was way behind, and then Sarah was all the way down at the lowest one there. So the way it works is, what I want to do today, I want us to take turns. I'm gonna share my annotation tools with you. And we're going to go through these 5 steps together. So is there a person who wants to raise their hand and wants to show us, like I'll give you my mouse and you can show us how do you create a pie chart in Excel. You should have learned this in the videos that you watched. All right, Pablo, your hand was the first that I saw. So Pablo, I'm going to give you the mouse. All right, Pablo, you have control of the mouse. So can you go ahead and explain what you're doing as you build a pie chart for this data?
So you go to insert, and you could do it. It says recommended charts, but over here next to it, you can see a bunch of different charts. So I'm going to click on this one because it's a pie chart. And they have different charts, but since we're just starting off, I'll just do a regular 2D pie chart. Is it loading in?
You didn't select the data yet. Yeah, select the data. Yep. And you want their names too, so we know who did what. There you go. All right, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the control back. Thank you, Pablo. So you see what he just did there is you go to insert, and I would encourage you to practice this on your own computer if you can. But insert, there's different things up here you can press. He did the pie chart and he chose the 2D one, which I thought was smart. I personally don't like the 3D one because I just think the way it looks, here's an example. You see it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look as clean or easy to read. So now we have this right here. I'm gonna expand it. Someone's off mute.
Yo, Usman.
Hold on, I'll try to, I'll mute him. Okay, all right, great. Now, so that's number 1. Thank you so much, Pablo, appreciate that. So now in the pie chart, format the data labels so sales reps' names and revenue are in percentage points. So if you look at this pie chart, what do you see? You see down here, I know this might be kind of hard for some of you on your screens, but in very, very small writing, I'll zoom in for you. in very, very small writing. See, Linda's blue, Kevin's orange, John's gray, Sarah's yellow. But it's like, okay, I mean, this is a little more helpful than just looking at the data, but I want to know the revenue they brought in and the percentage in the slice of the pie. So does anybody here want to raise their hand? I'll give you control of the mouse, and you can show us how do you format the data labels so that they can see the sales reps' names and revenue and percentage. And we're all here to help you, so don't be afraid if you're nervous. All right, Mr. Jesus, I'm going to go ahead and give you the remote. All right, sir, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you, Eric. So from what I believe, we would go to
You actually want to click onto the pie chart, Jesus. Right, like click on it. Yep. Now right click inside the pie chart right there. Add data labels. So hold on a second. Before you do that, what he just did is he clicked on that, and you see how the whole entire pie chart is lit up. When you click on a chart one time, it is touching the whole entire pie chart. Click on it 2 times, it'll just highlight the section that you clicked on. All right, go ahead and click Add Data Labels. So right there, now we have that. That's the amount that each one of them gave in revenue. So that's 1/3 of what we want. We also want their names inside of that. We also want the percentage. Now hit.
okay,
Yep. Yep. Go ahead.
Percentage maybe too.
Yep. There's percentage. Perfect.
And then their names too. So then maybe this. This is interesting. Let me see.
You're close.
Maybe Legend Key. Yeah.
Nope, that's not it.
Category. There we go.
There it is. Perfect. Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and take the mouse back. Jesus. All right. So if you guys observed what Jesus just did, thank you so much for that, sir. He clicked it one time, right click, format data labels, category name, because that's the sales rep's name, their value, and the percent, that's how much money they brought in, and their percentage. What percentage of the pie are they? Let me zoom in so it's a little bit easier to see. So there you go. Now we see Linda brought in 39%, Kevin brought in 37%, John brought in 18%, Sarah brought in 6%. Now already this is like a slightly better visual, right? If you're looking at this as the manager of this team, you have a better grasp on what's going on. So the legend at the bottom is this. We don't really need this anymore because now all their names are inside the pie chart. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. All right, and now if you want to change something, I'm gonna do this part and I'm gonna give the next number 4 to somebody else. I'm gonna change revenue. All you gotta do is it's just like using any other application in Microsoft. So I want to change revenue to December 2021. All right. Now, if you look at this, this is like kind of hard to read, right? Like it's very small. Like this black inside, this blue is not ideal. So what I want someone to do for the last task on this exercise is there someone that can take the mouse and just make it much easier to read. Someone want to raise their hand and I'll give you the mouse. You can show us how you do that. It's pretty easy. All right, Majida, I'm giving it to you right now. All right, thank you. It's all yours.
uh, I'm not completely sure if I'm doing it right. This changes.
So what you can actually do, Majida, is just go up to the top of my screen where it says home, hit the home button. All right, now go ahead and click on either John, Sarah, or Linda, just like their name.
Oh, okay. And then
And then you can yep, you can just do it this way. This is how I like to do it because I think this is the easiest way. Or then if like you wanted to, like, let's suppose you want to make that like bigger and bolder so it's easier to read. How would you do that? Like their names. Look how she did that. She clicked one time and all four are highlighted. And you see what she's doing? She just made it from a 9.5 to a 12. See, so much easier to read now. Now show us really quick, Machida, like take that Linda, the blue one, and make that like a lighter color so it's easier to read. So see what she just did? She actually double clicked the blue section of the pie. If she only clicked one time, then whatever she would be pouring in the paint bucket right now, the whole entire pie chart would turn that color. We obviously don't want that. We just want Linda's section to be that color. So you see? Now look at this pie chart. You know, that's pretty good. So if you're, you know, working your internship and you're given this data set and you're, you know, told by your manager, hey, I want you to put a pie chart that I can look at and in 10 seconds understand how our team did for revenue. This could be a way to do that. All right. So thanks, Machida. So Machida both changed the colors and she also changed the size as well. So go ahead and take control. Appreciate that. Are there any questions on what we just did? Was there any point where you were like, wait, I was going to go back and do that again? I was a little bit hung up.
Okay, yeah, Eric, Ricardo here.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a thing, when Majida was using it on the right side of the chart, there was a couple pop-up things that came out that just doesn't come up for me. I just wanted to see like what you click in, or do I just
if you click on I mean, these aren't really anything that are necessary that you have to have. They're just features. But yeah, like so if you want to like this is the same thing as, sorry, my 1-year-old's in the background being very talkative. So if you wanted to, you know, that's all that is. But no, you don't. It's the same thing as in the ribbon function. So yep, don't worry about that. All right. Try and get to the raised hands. I think Majida is your hand up from earlier, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's up from earlier.
Okay. All right, great. So what we're gonna do, I want you to go into Schoology. And I want you to go into where it says like this week's lesson. So I'm gonna go ahead and add Unit 2, Formatting Charts, Class Resources. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen. So go to this class, Formatting Charts, Class Resources, Lesson 2, Pie Charts, and go ahead and download this. It's the same thing that I have on my screen. All right, give me a green check when you download the workbook.
Hey Eric, I know on should we do like when we hand it in, should we also have the basic pie chart also completed, or does since we just did it together, does it not
Oh,
matter?
no, no, we're not gonna do that part together. Nope. You don't have to submit that. Thanks for asking, Luis. All right, I see 6 green checks. I want to see a few more, so make sure everybody has the spreadsheet with them. And as you guys go ahead, yeah,
Yeah, where was it again?
go to Schoology, go to Unit 2, Formatting Charts, go to Class Resources. It says Unit 2, Lesson 2, Pie Charts.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yep. And then give me a green check when you have it, so make sure everybody has it. So once again, if you're confused on where it is, Schoology, My Course, Formatting Charts, yellow folder, Class Resources. It's the only one in there. So download that.
Eric, Manny, actually Ross saying that on her end, it says that she's not enrolled in any classes.
Wait, Ashley Ross said what?
That on her end, it appears that she's not enrolled in any courses.
Okay, that must be something that she'll have to take up with Schoology. Just have Ashley, can you just send me a screenshot of what you have going on? It sounds like something that's wrong with Schoology. All right, so it looks like most of us have it. So listen, I'm gonna pull up my screen. So this is like what the next assignment looks like, the revenue practice chart. Now, if we went ahead and just grabbed all this and did insert pie chart, that's like pretty confusing, isn't it? Like 14, different qualifiers there. It's like, that's not easy to read. The reason you do a graph, the reason you do a visualization is because you want it to be easy to read. And this obviously is not. So what I want you to do is I want you to take what you've learned. I'm going to put you into small groups, and I want you to create the best chart that you can with the data that I've given you. So you have your salespeople, you have their revenue. I'm going to put you into groups, just 5 groups, pretty large, and let's see who can come up with the best graph at the end. All right, well, we'll make it a little bit of a competition. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys into your groups. 5 breakout rooms. You're going to go ahead and join. You're going to where it says practice chart, and let's see who has the best looking chart. What do you think? 15 minutes? Is that enough time? All right, it's enough time. Any questions on what we're doing? All right, so what you're going to do is you have that spreadsheet, practice chart at the bottom. You have your data set with your team. Let's see who has the best looking chart at the end of the 15 minutes. All right, may the odds be ever in your favor. All right, looks like everyone is back. I'm gonna go ahead and go back on camera for this portion of the lesson. Let's go ahead, and those were the fastest 15 minutes ever. Well, time flies when you're doing Excel, Manny. What do you want me to say? So group 1, Ashley Buffong, Ashley Ross, Luis, Manny, Pablo, and Rahul. Who has your chart? Also, just so it's for clarity's sake, it did not have to be a pie chart. Any chart that you thought looked the easiest to view. If you thought that was pie chart, great, but completely your call. So who's got your chart?
Hey Eric, I got a chart.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so the only thing is I was trying to connect with my laptop earlier, but I wasn't able to. Is it okay if I show it with my phone camera?
As long as we can see it.
It should be visual. Let me know if it's blurry.
Hold on, let me enlarge your screen. Spotlight, there we go.
Okay.
Oh wow,
So
yeah, very nice.
I'm trying to make it a Lakers themed chart.
Okay.
So we got the employees down here. We have our revenues here. All the numbers, values are listed here to make it easily visible, so we don't have to try to guess from the horizontal vertical axes. I got rid of that, so it's just simple and easy to read, and everything's out there in the front, and that's it.
Wow.
To create the chart, I highlighted the data. I went to actually use the recommended charts tool, which came out to be pretty useful. It was the first time I used it.
Excellent, beautiful chart. Looks like we got a very strong start with team one. Nice job. So let's go ahead and go to our next group, the LA Lakers theme. I love it. The very first NBA game I went to see was the Sixers play the Lakers. That was a lot of fun. That was back in the days of Allen Iverson and Kobe and Shaq, and those were the days. All right, anyways, room 2, Ashley Gavin, Jalissa, Mahmoud, Majida Smaje. Who from your team has your chart?
I have the chart. I'll be sharing my screen.
Thanks, Majida.
You guys don't see it, right?
Not yet.
What about now?
It's loading, but it's coming. There we go.
So, at first we thought it was only going to be a pie chart. So like we used a pie chart. So this would be our pie chart. So what we did was, because we're like, in case like when presenting, you know that like some people may be colorblind. So we ended up having either, we created a legend on the right, and then we also wrote down like names within the category. So like if people cannot distinguish between certain colors, they could still look at the names and the percentages and the amount that they have.
Very nice. I love this visual. I think it's very easy to read. Yeah. And the other thing that you could have done here, and this is an option I'm sure you learned about, is a pie within a pie. We'll talk about that more tomorrow for the smaller percentages. But yeah, this is great. And I love the colorblind thought as well for people that might be looking at this visual. Very inclusive. I actually didn't know this until a few years ago, but do you know that only men can be colorblind?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact.
A lot of people, there's very like less percentage of women being colorblind.
Yeah, very rare that women are colorblind, but almost always men. All right, thank you so much, Majida. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things like calico cats. Like only calico cats are female cats. There's no male calico cat. So the more you know, I know everyone's mind is so blown right now. You came here for Excel, you learned about color blindness. All right, let's keep rolling along. Excellent job, group 2. Room 3, Amna, Chelsea, Hannah, Jesus, Ricky. Who's got your visual?
Everyone did their own, so who wants to present?
Good leadership. Way to show the initiative, Amna, taking David's lesson to heart.
Well, I think
Amna did a
Amna
great job with her. I think Cheech should share.
Oh wow. Okay. I'll share.
I don't know that was gonna happen.
I didn't see that coming. Okay, thank you. I did the pie in the pie thing that you were talking about earlier.
Oh, look at that. See, you're in my mind.
Because I thought we were supposed to do a pie chart. I thought like this one was just an example and we were supposed to turn it into a pie chart.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, we should do I should do a pie and a pie because this section is like all the numbers below 1,000 and see where they fit on the bigger pie.
Wow, look at that. I love, how'd you get those, like those like pale colors? They look really good.
I just clicked one of the styles. Right
Okay.
here.
Gotcha. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
there it
went
is.
from this to this.
Mhm.
I liked it.
So can you explain what pie in a pie is for those who are like, I'm so confused with a pie. What's pie in a pie?
Okay, so like for example, March's pie chart, it included every single person in it. So you could have seen all the little pieces of pie where all the people that made under $1,000, they were also included in it. But this one doesn't include those people. It only goes up to 1,000, and then it has an entire section of all the people who make under 1,000. So it's like a little pie chart for especially for the people who make under 1,000, and then it also includes it in this section right here, this gray area.
So you see
I
how
don't know
that
if I
works?
explained it clearly enough for some people, or if I just confused people more.
No, you did great. So see how that 4,049 right there, what next to Amna's mouse, like that's representing in that smaller pie chart. So instead of having tiny little slivers of the pie, she decided to say, and this section right here represents these 5 pieces: 900, 998, 580, 695, 876. And then this way, it's just a little bit of an easier visual to grasp than trying to look at these smaller slices. Excellent, Amna. I think your colleagues did a correct job nominating you to share out your pie within a pie chart. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Amadul, Christian, David, Muhammad, and Usman. Who's got your chart?
Can you see it?
Yep.
Well, we were not able like to add any style because I'm using Office 365, so we just make it simple. And we decided to put right here the exact amount of in thousands, so they know the exact amount that they make in the revenue.
Great. Very good. And I like to see how this is a very easy visual to look at because you can see from the highest performer to the lowest performer, down it goes. You can tell within a few seconds how everybody did. Excellent. Great. So yeah, I think that's the bar chart is a good option for this exercise. Last but not least, Andre, Karina, Eric, Moses, and Tiana. Who's got your chart?
I'll show mine. I'll show mine if nobody wanted to show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're showing yours, Eric? Oh, there it goes. Can you make it a little bit bigger for us? So you went with the 3D.
Yeah, I went with a 3D bar chart, really.
Okay. And I can't really tell because my screen's kind of small, but do you have people's names on there? Oh yeah, up top, that you get the legend, I see.
Yeah, it's on top.
Okay. And then what's the numbers that are on top of the bar chart? Is that how much they made?
Yeah, the color is right there next to their name. I kind of didn't enlarge their names, but hold on. Yeah, I can't enlarge it. But yeah, the colors of their name is right there on the left side next to their name. So like right here is Sarah, John, Jane, and so on.
Great. All right, awesome. Well, excellent job all around. Everybody had some nice pie charts. Oh, look at Rahul's dog. What's his or her name?
Wolfie.
Wilson, so cute.
Oh, sorry, Wolfie. Wolfie.
Woofy?
Wolfie.
All right.
Like wolf. Yeah.
Woof, yeah. So cute. Oh, I miss having pets. Well, I mean, I miss like having them to cuddle with, but don't miss taking care of them because they're a lot of work. All right. So one last thing I want to show you, and then we're going to go ahead and log off for the day because I have a meeting here in a few minutes. What do you do when you have this situation? All right. Anybody know? What do you do when you have multiple sales over multiple months and you want to like consolidate it so you just have the visual that can show you how much they earned total? Like let's just say for all of Q1. You can raise your hand and I can give you the mouse if you think you know how to do this. It's all easy until now. Now it's like a little confusing. It's like, wait, how do I do this?
Sorry, I'm confused about the question. Can you ask it once more?
Sure. I want you to imagine that you're now going to create a visual to show the Q1, which is how much sales did these three people, Joe, Eric, and Millie, do January, February, March. So you want to create like, let's say a bar chart for those 3 months. How do you do that? Nobody?
Would it be a double bar graph?
No. It's
Wouldn't
actually
it
called,
just be one bar chart with 3 separate sections, and then in each section is 3 of their names and the amount of money they made?
you do it that way, but I wanted to imagine it like you just want 3 bar charts, you know, and showing how much they earned these last 3 months without having to go through and do all the math. I mean, I know this is pretty simple math, but we'll just, you know, for the sake of argument. So I'll show you guys a really cool trick and then we'll be done for the day. So you're gonna go to insert and you're gonna do what are called pivot charts. So you hit pivot chart there, got my data selected. I hit okay. What do I care about? Hold on, let me close this. I don't care about the month. I care about the rep and I care about the sales. And then there you go. So what could have taken me, you know, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I just did in 3 or 4 seconds by doing what are called a pivot chart. And this automatically took the sum of values, the sum of the sales, the value, plus the rep on the axis, and it gave me my chart, just like that. So that's called a pivot chart. Yes, Karina?
Sorry, when you hit the analyze folder, what exactly did you hit after that? I didn't see it.
Sure, let me just go ahead and do it again.
Please.
Of course. So what I'm doing, I'm grabbing my data set, right? You know how to do this part. You can't create a visual if you don't have your data. I'm going to insert. Instead of going to recommended charts though, see, like this is not what I want. I don't want to see how much they got per month. I want to see how much they got in total. I hit pivot chart. So right there, create a pivot chart. What data do I want? This is what I want exactly. It's already selected. You can see it's highlighted here on the left. I press OK. All right, what do I want my fields? I want the rep. Click on that. That goes in the axis. And then I press sales. That's the values. That's the sum of the sales. Just like that. So it's pretty amazing what Excel has the capability to do. So imagine if this was over the course of a year and you had 1,000 reps, right? It would take you hours to comb through and analyze how much each person pulled in and how much, you know, what that look like. but Excel, you just did that, so quickly. So cool. All right. So it's 11:36. I got a meeting here in about 7 or 8 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up early. The only deliverable is just to follow up on the discussion board. I think that's due tomorrow night, so you have a little bit of time, but please make sure you do that. There's nothing worse than giving out 50% because people will do the first part of that. They'll do their initial post and not the follow-up. So please do the follow-up. And beyond that, everybody have a wonderful rest of the day. It's great to be with you all as usual. And see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Fine, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.